very nice to meet
How's
you.
everything?
I'm blessed. I'm happy. I'm good. I have two beautiful daughters, a beautiful wife. This tragedy to me is striking the business the most. And my business was asked to shut down because I'm not essential, but it's essential to me to be working.
But the reason I care about this topic is because I grew up in a suburban area off the highway, 15 minutes off the highway. Collectively chose to have that environment where we're not shopping at malls and big brand outlets. We support our friends and our family that have pizza shops and hair salons and nail salons and Dairy Queen, because it can be
right now
franchised.
it's just crazy. It's just I've never seen anything like this in my life. And owning a business for 20 years and having them come on and say, just shut down for 2 weeks, just shut down for a month. Just
The
how do
thing
you
is,
do that?
customer habits are shifted by something like this. Like if they find a way to not go to your location in the interim, chances are maybe that's more convenient down the road and they'll start doing that more often.
100% right. You're 100% right. And mine was a restaurant and club in New York City, and it was one of the coolest things. I mean, I had a lot more courage, I guess we could say, back then. I was a lot more courageous.
Yes.
And
it takes a certain grit and that hustle and the grind to do that. And I think when we're young, we're able to do that. I used to do door-to-door sales, and I was straight commission. So right now you can't be straight commission because it's the same as owning your own business. Like, where's my paycheck? I have bills, When you're a kid, you're right? Like, no one's going to say no to me. And you just get out there and you do it, and you like rejection just falls right off you. It doesn't mean anything.
Because you don't care. And a good example I could give you is because I know the restaurant industry. I have some friends that own catering facilities, restaurants, and whatnot. On a typical weekend, if a restaurant does $10,000 on a typical weekend, that's 2 days, right? $5,000 a day. They were just closed for 4 weekends. That's $40,000.
Researching what the impact of COVID is going to have on retail, and they're calling it the next normal, going forward. And retail as a vertical compared to finance or any of the others is going to be more disrupted than the rest. Retail has to innovate and pivot and find new ways to do what they've been doing, like you said, for 20 years, and something like a virus to cut your legs out from under you. What's to say that won't happen again now that it's happened and we've experienced this?
Exactly. When you say retail, it's even as far as certain small brands that are in retail.
Yep.
They're getting crushed. I was watching, and on LinkedIn, they slowly were talking about Expo West, and COVID was coming, and COVID, like the beginning of March, and they canceled it like a week before.
Wow.
And I said that they're going to put brands out of business just by that cancellation. So I think you're going to see more of the brands that we like. Some of the smaller brands are going to struggle right now, and it's a shame because when you see the small brands, I really enjoy small brands because they're competing against these huge brands, and they're saying, we have a message, we have a passion, we're going to compete against you, and we're going to say, so what? People are going to choose us. And I choose those brands, right? Because of that and their mission and what they believe in. And I'm afraid that some of those brands are going to go away.
Maybe they can pivot because they're small and they're flexible, but they might not have the bandwidth or the resources to do that.
Exactly.
Right. And you're also saying the front load of investing into your business, spending money to make money. They've been doing that with the promise and the hope that it's going to have that ROI. And for something like this, it's setting them back that $40K, and then also the amount that they're not making in this next month for being closed.
That's a very good point. You're 100% right. Spending on the social media, spending on the advertising, spending on the this, on the that, hoping for that ROI.
That's literally why they go out of business so quickly and rapidly, because they haven't put aside all this money, because they're not upcharging you like crazy to make a profit off you. It's about the entire experience of owning that small business and doing something, for yourself and for your community.
That's the difference. I think that brands are going to come out of this. I think there's other brands that have been waiting that are looking to launch, and they're going to have an opportunity to do that because other brands are going to go away, unfortunately. But it's going to create an opportunity. You have to have faith that if the business isn't going to succeed, then you're going to do another business. You're going to bring that passion to something else, and you're going to be successful in whatever you bring that to. This business God might be doing you a favor by shutting this down at this point because it wasn't going to work anyway, and now you have an excuse to kind of walk away. Not to make it less than
I
it
know
is.
what
But
you mean though, yeah. Sometimes we are afraid to take those steps for ourselves, but when someone or something takes it for us, it makes it a little bit easier because it's not our fault that it happened. So we don't have to have that guilt or take that responsibility. But now we have
exactly,
the freedom to act in accordance with our own alignment and who we really are and fulfill that passion that way.
exactly, exactly. I can tell you now that food is your remedy for pain. Food is the
Something
absolute remedy
that
for pain.
keeps coming back to mind while you're describing the battle between the big guys and the little guys is the fact that even among the little guys in the health space, they wind up fighting amongst themselves and deteriorating their own brands as a result. And health coaches will tell you conflicting information with other people that are supposed to be nutrition experts. And even with the juicing example, I had a coach tell me that they would rather eat all of their nutrients instead of drinking them, and that eating the actual stalk or whatever of the celery or the spinach is better than just drinking it because it's going right through and digestion starts in the mouth, and if you're not chewing then you're not starting your digestion. I liked the fact that you're talking about like ingestion versus digestion, giving your body and your intestines a break, which we never do, and letting your body absorb the actual nutrients right into the bloodstream, which is something that was never actually articulated to me in the past. So it takes so much more, not even money to be healthy, bandwidth and energy and resources and knowledge of just finding out all these things and navigating what's true. Versus being unhealthy, it's like, well, what do my taste buds crave right now? Like,
I
let's
hear
go
you.
there.
My wife and I, we really just started reading. We started out with a book called Eat Right for Your Blood Type by Dr.
Oh, I've
Adamo.
heard of that. Yeah.
Oh, if you get a chance to read it, start there, because I didn't even test my blood type.
I was just about to say, I need to know my blood type first.
I didn't test my blood type, and we started to read it. And so my wife is a teacher and educator, master's, so she's got the research side of it.
Awesome.
So I always ask her, I'll say, can you read and kind of sum it up for me? I'm the business person. I need you to just sum it up. So she would give me some things that would work and wouldn't work. And I'm like, I'll bet you I'm an O based on this book. So I go, I get tested. Sure enough, I'm an O. That's how
accurate
well
the book is.
That's how accurate. Was the big one was Dr. Alejandro Younger, and he had this 21-day cleanse. And it's not like a cleanse that you're thinking you not eat anything. He gives you certain foods that you can eat for 21 days. And what you do is after those 21 days, you start to add back the foods that you took out, and you can start to see what you are allergic to, what you have intolerances to,
right.
what causes bloating, what causes, I mean, I'll give you a simple one. I love peanut butter. All right. I always have. Yeah. And I was eating peanut butter for a long time, and my hands would always break out. And I never associated the two.
Yeah.
Well, I have an intolerance to peanut butter, and the intolerance brings out rashes. Wow. So I eat the peanut butter. So even once in a while, I'll be like, nah, I think I'm good now because I love it so much.
Yeah. The rashes won't come. They still pop up.
It's still a problem. So that's how much food controls us, and that's how much it really helps us.
Well, I'm going to let you get back to your family. They're probably like, what happened to Mark?
I love talking about business all day long. I mean,
I agree. Yeah. Business is
a passion. I have to tell you, I appreciate your professionalism. I appreciate you getting back to me when I reached out to you on LinkedIn. I appreciate your emails. I appreciate how you were just, you followed up and you were just very professional. And I just really appreciate that. And it's very nice to see. And it's a testament to what you do, and it's a testament to who you are. And it showed me a lot. And I'm really honored that you had me on Winning Wednesday. And
Thank you so much. That really means a lot. And I'm constantly trying to advocate why people should develop their own personal brand as well. And I think that you touched on it so well, because small business is a personal brand that's a tangible brand, whereas normally when people say personal brand, they're talking about the digital brand, but it's the same concept. You're still selling yourself and showing your value in the world. And the feedback that I get is so bizarre to me a little bit, because people are shocked that I'm able to do this. And I'm like, but why wouldn't I do this?
How many people are going to take the time to sit down and speak with people? And it's the human touch.